Good morning. How are we doing, everybody? Looking like a Fed Friday here with the JPOW coming in to speak at 9 a.m. Going to be seeing if this overnight high gets touched off on again, or if we're going to kind of just continue to fade into oblivion here. Microsoft just wicked down through 417 and then just started to catch a nice little bounce. So kind of see what happens. NVIDIA's more clean movement. Microsoft raised the key growth forecast. Why isn't it the same? I don't know. Nothing there important. NVIDIA is maintained and outperform. And so nothing really good as far as news or bad as far as news for those Max 7 days. I think everything's just going to be waiting for Powell to speak. If you're up for the week or up around the day, I would be cautious and patient. For me, I may be a little aggressive to try and get these things moving, but otherwise we are into the final stretch of August come next week. So better trading is ahead for September, especially after you start getting the uncertainty and everything out of the way. So let's see what happens with this open. Let me reset the delta. Just so happens that the high of the pre-market is going to coincide close to, if not right around that upper band of VWAP. You did get that heavy selling on the delta, so aggressive sellers did come in at that value area high right around 780. So just note that as well. We have 7.35 quarters, has a 37 lot that's kind of sitting there. And then up overhead, 760, 765. There's just kind of flashing size up there. Nothing too crazy. 30 seconds till market opens. Hopefully have a great trading day, great trading week. I'm going to watch JPOW at 9 and then see where the market moves around to. And then from there, probably hop off early for the weekend. So let's get this day started. Microsoft opening downside. Well, it just kind of closed that gap from post-market hours to pre-market. There's still a gap up from the close yesterday to the open right now in Microsoft. Nvidia as well, a decent gap up in the price today. So see if we can get up over this overnight high and then fail it and kind of give our normal strategy a go. I did not take it yesterday, but we'll see if we can take it today. The pullback is happening now. I liked the idea of it up there pre-market. Normally I don't trade pre-market. I kind of saw this idea shaping up, right? You can see kind of a straight up price action into a key level. 760 is that key level. So we just breached down through that. I mean, 790, I'm sorry, is that key level. Morning, Jovi. How we doing? Never got an entry there. Still plenty of time. 760, I was correct. That's my fault. So 760 is that key structure area. We wicked right above it. Now we're rotating back down. Very heavy, very fast. Right to VWAP. Yeah, it's been a struggle this whole month of August. I don't think I've been green. I think I've been green like 2 days. And they weren't very good green days. So just continue to be maybe size down. Get yourself a better opportunity. I never got the chance to enter this, but that was the play, right? You could see 760 got wicked, failed, and then rotated immediately down. So 60 straight down to 20 gave you that nice 40-point move there. Clean, quick, and easy. But like I said, I wasn't here, I wasn't quick enough to take that draw. It's also the opening range, right? That opening range trade there. Bang, bang. Unfortunately, avoiding my strategy has cost me a lot of money. That's up. Surprised. How we doing? Where is that opening range? I know I have it somewhere. There we go. That is not a good way to think there, Scott. If you're up already, then there's a good way to prevent that. You could lock it out. Especially with the way this market's acting, I don't know. Kind of leading into this Powell speech at 9. I'm surprised you're getting this heavy sell-off that quickly. Nvidia is holding above 125.45. We've got some areas of interest from yesterday would be the low of that first push down into 19,664 up into maybe 19,690. It's a good way to go, especially if you're able to compartmentalize like what you're doing, what you're trying to learn, what lessons you're getting out of each different part of your trading, right? Or what are you learning from each execution? If it's not just to make money, if it's an actual proper setup or something that what did you see there that said, okay, let's enter this here or enter this there, right? I was thinking about this short through 60. However, I didn't trust that being so close to the overnight high. kind of wanted to give that pop. No, I got you 100%. I'm the same way. You can't learn. You can learn the dynamics of trading in paper trading, but you can't really learn the emotional connection to the executions by doing that. You're going to over leverage, oversize, let things play out differently than you would let them play out if your actual capital is on the line, right? So I recommend paper trading for super brand new beginners, or if you're learning to use a certain account, right? Like, or a different brokerage or something where you need to learn hotkeys or you need to learn different types of stuff. Other than that, I think it's really just try your best to not do that. I want to try and test the hotkeys on the top step back. So I just acted them. Let's see if I got them all set up correctly. I might just go by here right quick off the VWAP. Normal is something I don't do. So I'm going to wait. I'm not going to do it just to test out. I don't have much left. Trying to practice good discipline here. If we get through that overnight high, see if we get a fail breakout or if we get a break retest. Could play both ends of it, where if I'm going to be quick with the hotkeys, maybe I'll try to play a break above overnight high, get to even, trail it really quick, maybe to 800, and then see if I can get my normal failed breakout strategy. And if it doesn't fail, then I can play the breakout. So I can play both ends of my normal strategy, see if that does me any good or if it's a dangerous game to play. Because up to 841 is that next area of where the interest would be for upside targets. So I might try that. I want to see what the hotkey stuff looks like. Hotkeys, buy, sell, break even. All right, let's try it. Let's give it a shot. Let's try the hotkeys when in time comes. Beautiful bounce off of VWAP. NVIDIA is cruising to the upside. The hotkeys, yeah. They added hotkeys last week sometime, I think. So you can set what you want them to be. And then your keyboard trading, learning from when I was doing my professional trading at T3, where I learned a lot. The hotkey stuff is definitely way faster. So you're a lot faster as a day trader on the keys than you are point and click. If you're not too worried about super precise entries, it's, point and click is fine. I do. I would assume that you do type fast. If we get a nice sweep of the low of VWAP down to like 700, 690, watch for that to return back the other direction. I kind of think that not very expansionary during this pre-JPOW talk, pre-home sales talk. So I would not be surprised, Scott, that if we kind of just bounce around here for a little while before that comes out. I also don't anticipate him to say very much more than he said last meeting. He may include some little hints about rate cuts and stuff like that, but I mean, the revision in the non-farm number is quite a big deal. I think he might mention something about that. Going from creating 1 million jobs to losing 800,000 jobs is a very big disconnection. That's all you got to do. Realistically, if you're going to day trade and you're going to scalp like this, the way I talk through things a lot of times kind of prevents me from getting entries. So if I were to be a little bit more focused, a little bit just like worried about what I got going on, it's all about getting in, getting out kind of very quickly when it comes down to this. It's not HFT trading, right? You're not high frequency trading, but you are, especially if you're only trying to catch 10, 20 points. NQ could go up 20 points quick and we'd be back down and out for 20 points, right? NVIDIA is approaching a high of 126.97. I would be cautious at that level for the initial breakout. If it gets up over 126.97, 127, I think then maybe we start to accept and continue to rotate up into 128.50, 129. But it could react from here. It's pushing above that high now, and now looking to push into that 126.95. So we could get a squeeze play here in the NQ, but watch out for this. A little bit of a wedge here. I would need the NQ to tell me something different. Microsoft also caught a bounce from the lows of yesterday and is now, well, no, not necessarily lows of yesterday, but where that consolidation low happened. So it hit off on the top of that consolidation and then pushed up from 416.57. So, and then now it's trying to fight with 417.30s, and it's getting a little bit of a sell there. NVIDIA is fighting with 127 right now. If it breaks 127 and starts to squeeze up, then you'll start to see the NQ push up. If 127 breaks and fails, then you're going to get the opposite direction play out. And this is also the low of the opening range, so it could be reactive on the NASDAQ. 'em. I like NVIDIA still being strong. Microsoft got weak and is looking to see what it's going to do around 416.50. So I don't, there's a divergence between the two top names here. However, if Microsoft's on its lows and looking to break lower, and NVIDIA's on its pretty much high at a key structure level, that could rotate down. If NVIDIA starts to catch a sell, then this also will look to do some sell side pressure until it rotates the other way with both NVIDIA and Microsoft. So if Microsoft starts to catch a bounce here and then NVIDIA breaks highs, then we have that confluence that kind of works for us. One 2.697 held right here for NVIDIA. So you look at the NVIDIA chart. This is the level that I was talking about. Wicked above it, failed it, rotated. The only other problem there is that now Microsoft is catching a bounce from that 416.57. If Microsoft gives this bottom up and NVIDIA continues to roll over, right now NVIDIA is still trying to pull back some. You may roll into 125.34. That's maybe where you'll find the bounce play if Microsoft stays relatively strong, but it doesn't appear to be so. It appears that they're both fighting with that bearish pressure into the Fed meeting here. Well, not the Fed meeting, JPOW's speech. If this wicks VWAP, wicks this low here of 706, gets to 699, that level there. I don't see any bigger size on the level 2s. 73 lots at 698. So 698 has 73 contracts. 698. That level has 73 plus contracts, 75 contracts, and it crept up to 700 now. Microsoft gave that hard wick to the downside at that 416.50 level and is now trying to catch back up with it, kind of just lingering around there at 416.57. And now breaking a little bit through the low. NVIDIA also trying to push lower. So this pattern here, bounce off VWAP, wick VWAP. Now will it flush through this low here, give you some continuation to press through the bigger size here at 700 and below, right? There's a bunch of bids stacked just in front of 700. I see, I gotta get like off of order centering. Turn that off. 710 has a 35 lot. 75, 74 contract sitting at 700, then down at 698. It went from 698, popped up to 700. So that is a decent size sitting right at 700. So if that gets filled, got to see if it's going to bounce or are we going to use that as a magnet to kind of pull us through down to the downside. Just based on the way all the names are acting, maybe we don't even get there. Maybe they front run it. S&Ps looks more bullish, right? Trap the shorts, push above highs here. Now, if this pushes and squeezes above 56.2750, watch that overnight high come in. If that's the case, if this starts to push up into the overnight high and we start to catch up, then maybe we can get that entry in there and push higher. NVIDIA approaching that 126.97 again. If it rejects it here and rotates off, then you look to see if that sell side pressure comes in. But it looks like Microsoft's trying to bounce as well as NVIDIA at the same time. If NVIDIA makes new high of day, maybe this will start to push. If not, we could just stay inside until JPOW talks. We start the next set of candles to the downside again on NVIDIA. That could really help this to push down to 700. But there's the S&Ps looking to try and tick up and lead us that way. NVIDIA still. These are the Top Step weekly kickoff levels. Interesting. There's the push. Is this now going to actually squeeze up, or is it going to fail this level here and break down? That's just kind of like the key point right now. There's a push, sort of strong. NVIDIA is still holding above 127.05, 126.97, 127.16, 127.22 is the high. Haven't quite breached it yet. Microsoft still holding 416.50. There's the squeeze. 40 to 50 there, Scott, is a nice little 10-point move for you. And then if it continues on up, you're still golden with basically stop at even. What was my even? I need to just check my hotkeys. Break even is Alt X, which is this is break even, and then I want contract size -1. I don't like too much going on there. All right. Still being very patient with this market. I don't really trust any moves until the big market participants get to hear what JPOW has to say. Could that have been a trap of the longs to get this short involved? If Nvidia does fail through 126.97, then the breakdown of the opening range low could make some sense. This is our opening range here in the S&Ps. Nvidia is still pushing upside. Microsoft still also pushing up towards that 417.30 number. This could give you that wick of the opening range low to rotate us back up with the way the strength in Nvidia is showing. That was a nice little pop from 39 basically up to 55. Decent on the we should say that the price made a higher low here. Delta made a lower low, gave it more of like a wick off. Aggressive buyer came in, started to pop us up. See if this aggressive buyer steps up here again. It looks like it wants to. It seems like it wants to push up. Russell's creeping down towards opening range high. So Russell is diverging a bit here. So it flows out of small caps into Mag 7 names potentially. My ideal situation here would be break overnight highs, push into 790, rotate back down, fail it, and then rotate back to VWAP and even down to 700 prior to JPOW speaking. It does not appear as if we're going to get to that level of setup at the moment. Alrighty, let's see. There you go. Well done, Scott. I like it. I like a quick idea off of that level. Like I said, 760 is the key line in the sand here. If we break above it, it does give you some bullish behavior, right? So break above 760 rotates us through. I might just take it just to take a quick long before I get my failed breakout idea, right? So if I go long here, stop by 1 through 60, and then play the fail of the overnight high, right? Just to play my key structure level there. I would go to break even super quick on it and then see if I could get a failure. But NVIDIA looks like it's making a lower high here, which is quite interesting. Microsoft ran it to 417.30. Oh, 5 minutes till the hour. Getting rid of that. This is why I don't take anything right at that time frame, right? I like this that scalpy behavior, right? If you can find the turns, the areas of high interest, and then start to rotate off of them, right? Like that 760 number is really important. And for this to not quite hit it, right, or hit off on 760 and then sell, you could really try your best to try and sell it quick, catch your points, and then move on, right? And just keep doing it, once, twice, three times. After JPOW is done speaking, maybe I'll give a little demonstration of what Scott's kind of talking about with that type of behavior. I'm not really the best at it currently, right? But I'll do it just for education and entertainment purposes. I would like to try and do some of those things, especially while I'm in like this the drawdown. Yeah, if you set up the hotkeys right, looking to, let's say at 59, these home sale numbers come out. I don't think that JPOW's Jackson Hole is gonna initiate immediately at 9. Sorry, surprised. Yes. I don't have any. I'll find where his feed is, and then he'll just jab around, rabble. That's what he'll say. Watch the market get very thin leading into this 9 o'clock number. All right, so JPOW's speech potentially starts in 1 minute. I don't think it's going to actually start in exactly 1 minute, but the new home sales and year over year, month over month will be out, so that'll come out. That'll move the algos a bit. Nvidia is holding up over 127. Microsoft is dancing around between 417 and 416.50. You're gonna see you can see. Look at the dome right here. Look at the bids. They're gone. There's no more bids. I have my level twos on here. Look at how spread out those bids are. There's a ask as well. Just, super wide spread here. No reason to trade because you will get whipped out and stopped. That's a beautiful move to the upside, however. But look at it. You'll not get filled on any of this. This is purely algos. And new home sales came out higher than expected by 100,000-ish. 10.6%. Forecast 0.2. So people buying houses like machines. Looks like that long. Yeah, so you got to just watch the dome, watch the level twos, see what kind of dancing around you're going to get. I would love to see a failure of this overnight high now from that, but Powell's going to be speaking. I'm going to kind of ignore that. I'm going to watch to see when the dome settles down, when the level twos, the bid and the ask start to really stack up again, because until then you're going to get very, very wide whippy spreads. If you really felt like trading that release, right? I mean, it was a really nice, clean move through 60 to the upside. I think up to 41 is going to be important, right? To 41. That'll hit off. But unfortunately, like I said, I didn't have the setup there for me to go take that long. But that was what I was looking for, was if I were to get up over the overnight high to squeeze up to 41s, in a more clean manner, right? Now the bids you can see, look at the dome now. It's cleaned up. Spread is gone. The bids and asks are now stacked up on each other. Very clean price action. I think we probably continue upside, maybe for the entire meeting, because the S&P's is clean move straight up. That was a really good, nice move. I'm not trading those releases because that could have easily went the other direction if you were trying to go long. You can see that spread, very wild, very whippy. If you can withstand it with maybe 1 or 2 micros, and you can kind of withstand a very wide breadth of trading there, you could potentially capitalize on that kind of move. But you really have to have a plan set in place for when that does come into play. Microsoft came right into that pre-market structure level where we sold off from prior, and now it's selling. Nvidia is pushing up into 128.50. So I'm watching Nvidia up to 128.50 and into 129, and I think I'm going to get a espresso. The espresso was being made, so that's where that short squeeze came. Short squeeze espresso. What are you doing? What? There's no bone. Oh, there's bones in your body. Yes. Oh, you know what bones are now? They're hard. They hold your body. That's the structure of your body. You want to say hi on the stream? Okay, I'll see you in a little bit, Max. Sub Zuka-san, I see you creeping out there. Like I said, I talked about this. Don't trade, don't trade, don't trade. Rip. Yeah, but honestly, like, if you were in the room, right, and you were watching that, I talked about how that right before that number came out, you could see the very wide, very loose, illiquid level twos. So all of the actual players pulled their money out of the market. All the orders got pulled, and then you got this price action here. I'm going to go really quick and sell 1 through 41 if it does decide to come down through here. And then I'm going to see if the hotkeys work. I'm pretty good at getting bottom ticked lately, so don't necessarily follow me per se. I'm just giving this a chance here. That 41 level to me is important. I'm going to go right above it now. See if the hotkeys work. And go break even. Oh, yeah, they work. Hell yeah, they do. I was just testing the hotkeys. That short can still work. I need to see how they. I mean, it's not working perfectly. So that worked the hotkeys. So I want to see if they work more. I really like having the hotkeys available to me. So those overnight levels really do play a role for a couple days, especially when they have been around. You know, when we're stuck in the same area. How do you see? How do you set what my overnight levels or what? Oh, the hotkeys. If you go to settings, go all the way to the right. Hotkey should be on the top right. Once you want to create the hotkey, you click on set hotkey, set the yellow button. I only have buy market, sell market, break even, and contract size -1. So I can take one off. Like let's say I want to get in with two, I'll get in with two, get one off, and then or maybe I'll add one. So there's a whole bunch of different ways. So unfortunately for me, streaming wise, it might start to flip my stream around when I start using the keys because I do use hotkeys for my stream as well. So just kind of be mindful of that. If I start to say, oh, I'm getting in and hitting buttons with the hotkeys, if you notice at my screen, if it's something that you're going to be watching, if you notice my screen giving you issues, just let me know because I don't have all my OBS up all the time. I put it in the background. So I would like to see this sell from here, which was beautiful. Honestly, that was really the sell. I was just talking about hotkeys. We're up $30. So, but that was really, I was looking for 841 to fail, looking for overnight highs to fail. Maybe that'll happen as well. I'll try this hotkey thing. Hotkey short. Probably shouldn't have went short at the high there. I tried it, and I'm out. These hotkeys are pretty cool. Probably should test them on a practice account, but it's good that they're working. I was up 100, probably should have gone straight to even after that. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hotkeys made me go down 5. Got 500 left. So my short idea from 41 down to the overnight highs was the right move. Then I tried the hotkey short idea, and it wicked me out. Wicked me in, wicked me out. So we're going to try a buy through the high if it gets through there. Let me try and be quick with it with these hotkeys. This is going to be the range where I get myself trapped in long and short at the bottom and the top. Giving it a chance to break through that 41 level. Break even with that hotkey. There we go. I would like the hotkeys to have like a plus, you know. Yeah. I need to drop my risk settings down. 200. Save that. There we go. What I need for these hotkeys to work well for me is like move it halfway or whatever, or like up plus 10 ticks would be ideal, something like that. Like that. Something like that where it goes up to, you know, that where I can secure $100 at a time, $200 at a time, type moves. However many ticks up it wants to go would be ideal, right? It's making it quicker, that's for sure. I was talking about that 760 level acting as the level where anything, well, really, my bullish bearish line in the sand for the week was 610. What do you know about 610? I'm going to pull that up right now because I think this is just going to continue on for the rest of the day. This is my chart, my longer term chart here, and I'm going to go to my 30-minute time frame so you could see exactly what I was talking about. Yesterday we got that selling kind of conducted from 20,000. My anticipated high for the week was 20,100, 20,178, maybe 270. So I think today finally you get JPOW talk, whatever, all that information. We bounced right from 610, a fail to hold 610 as soon as we opened up over there. It's been straight up since, right? So next level above 926, above that 20,000, and then I think 100 up to 200 today potentially isn't out of, you're not out of the realm of possibility there for that to be happening. Although we do have this, you know, breakdown from this trend here, we could run into 926 and then fail 926 and give a slight pullback there, maybe down into 941 before continuing higher. So that's kind of what I'm looking for in these markets. Oh no, what the hell? So that's my hotkeys. Fuck. I gotta get out. What the hell? Damn. So my hotkeys for switching screens in, I gotta change them. Give me a second. The hot screens to, hey, I'm in combines right now. It's just a mess. It's a mess of a month. Should not have risked 500 on that one. That was really just a test of the hotkey, and I just let it play out when I shouldn't have. It is what it is, Jofi. We're kind of all in the same boat right now. I think August has been fucking terrible. I blew my fundeds last week or the week before. We're ready to kind of get back into real good stuff. I got to change the hotkeys, though, because for some reason that means when I do that screen switch there, it switches up my it made a order happen. So buy market is Control Alt 1. Let's change that to this, Control Alt X. Confirm. All right, that's better. Let's see. Were you just trying to be scalpy? What were you trying to do there, Jofi, that kind of created the... Where did my VWAP go? That's great. Love when my VWAP just disappears. All right. And then now I got to change the settings on it. Fuck. Input. Close. Okay. Yeah, that happens, dude. Honestly. Not surprising. When we're in like this sort of panic mode here, it's just you get into like, instead of waiting for your stuff to happen that you normally do, you start doing things that you don't normally do. So don't just go hammering into things just to do it. I did, and I lost $500 just because I was trying to test the hotkey function. I'm doing it on a combine that I'm already fucking messing with already. So don't do dumb shit there, Jofi. Figure out what your dumb shit is and don't do it. This is a nice little wedging type setup here for a short pullback, potentially, I think, up to 9. There's nothing on the... There we go. Some heavier orders flashed at 90 and then disappeared. They're definitely doing some manipulation up above. So just be cautious up there. NVIDIA ran into its resistance here at 129 and is selling from 129.12. If NVIDIA gets back down through 128.58, then the rotation back down could come. Watch that 41 level. Microsoft pushed into 419.27 and rejected as well. So watch that. Oh, that's the hourly. I need the minute. Yeah, so Microsoft rejected that level. NVIDIA rejecting there. So the sellers could come in right here through 41, fail 41 and rotate up, or could act as support. I think potentially we are in an environment now that it's Friday. It's kind of caught the trend, the opening range, which is gone now. Well, you know, these things just disappear off my charts, which is great. Where are we at here? S&Ps could get to 56.65 if that's the case and rejects that green line there. That's previous day highs. If it rejects there, could end up rotating down from that level on the NQ prior. Or if it squeezes through it, we have room above, and then NQ could get up here. That blue box was the opening range from yesterday. 20,000 is going to be a magnet. I think that's not a crazy thought here. NVIDIA trying to push through. Microsoft trying to push through. Going to test this. Good push pressure up. Good buying pressure here. 900 rejecting. Got our short squeeze espresso. Always fueling our day. Didn't take it early enough. Honestly, overall, if I was a little quicker with these hotkeys, should not be down right now on the day with this. I'm going to give it a chance on the short side. If it does breach 41 and hold. NVIDIA and Microsoft both trying to sell from those highs. Going to give it a second, see if it fails this level here. Sell it. Up 100. Break even on it. There's that nice sell through our key structure level. Really nice short. This is just my quick trail here on that. Really nice sell. I think we can now hold this to see if the overnight high comes in. I'm going to secure 530 on that move there. If it hits off on overnight highs, I'm going to get to that. I need to get below it. Get below it. Get below it. All right, I'll take that. That's a nice little move there to catch from 41 down to overnight highs. That the hotkeys are great. I think I need a little bit more out of them. I think I need where I could go plus 10, plus 10, plus 10 on ticks or on points or something like that, where I could kind of trail my stop a bit better without clicking, because it really makes it hard for me to do the trail with that. You know, that was a really good catch right there for me. Honestly, seeing everything line up confluence-wise, being patient enough to allow this to hit off of here, then open the next candle. Seeing Microsoft selling really hard from 419 and NVIDIA also selling from 129.12 gave me the confidence to take that short there and not really be too worried about where, you know, anything else. And really today I should be up close to 1,000, right? That $500 trade that loss should never happened. I shouldn't have been testing the hotkeys, but it is what it is. I should have allowed that trade. If I was going to test them, I should have tested them with those small stops. But now I have my stops set correctly, and it'll kind of overall it'll be good. But that was good. Straight bottom tick right there at the overnight highs. We got out up here around 800 trades. We got filled at 797. So right there. Could continue downside, just kind of based on these other ones. Yeah, hotkey for even times points would be awesome. Absolutely. If I can go plus 1 point, plus 2 point, plus 3 points, plus four, and so on, would be fantastic. I think that's got to be in the works. It's got to be, right? It's got to be. I think it's in the suggestions. I don't know if it. They have like a whole uh, trader hub there that you can do. He spoke very quickly, and that was that. Yeah, nothing really was. Yeah, he didn't speak very much. Traders of rate futures pricing about 1 in 3 chance of a half point Fed cut in September, up from before Powell's speech. Fed swaps are steady, price nearing 100 basis points of easing by the end of the year. Balance of our risks to our mandates has changed. Upside risks to inflation have diminished. Downside risks to employment have increased. Later, Zuki. I do the same stuff, man. Daddy, welcome to the chat. I've been trading on and off since 2017. The biggest thing that I could say for my breakthrough, and I'm going to be teaching in the boot camp come Monday and Tuesday, and I have a little bit of structure to kind of how I break down what I do. But honestly, it comes down to purely sticking to one setup, right? It's when you find your edge. What I like to say is I've watched, let's say, dozens of different traders. I've seen what works for them. I understand like the market dynamics, the fundamental analysis behind everything, and I think pairing my weekly outlook for what each day is going to bring, along with my analysis of technical levels, zones within futures, and just accepting that some days I'm not going to have a good trade. Some days I will have multiple setups. It's just a matter of being extremely disciplined and then also taking the accountability to a whole nother level, right? I used to blame everything under the sun when it came to trading because I didn't know that I was the one that was the problem, right? So understanding that you're going to have to be overly accountable for everything that happens to you within this market. If you are in a trade, you put the risk on the table. You already did it. It's up to you to manage that risk and do it appropriately, right? You can't go out and say, oh, it's because Top Step slipped me that I lost this money, or my internet went out. And you have to be completely wholly aware of your entire setup, your entire situation. And once you do that, you'd say, okay, fine, I did this, right? I did this. It's you versus you. Once you start to really understand, yes, markets are zero-sum games, but the biggest, just the biggest breakthrough for me has become the extreme discipline and the extreme ownership of every part of the way, right? I'm totally honest, totally transparent that August has been the worst. It's garbage, right? We had a near perfect month in July, and then August I've been trading like shit, but really I've been seeing the market super, super well, right? So it's not a matter of me not seeing what I'm seeing on a day-to-day basis that I saw in July. It's just me not making slight adjustments to timing to allow for consistent growth within the month. But overall, like I said, I am able to kind of compartmentalize what I'm seeing because I'm taking ownership for every decision that I'm making, right? So if you can learn to understand, okay, trading, you could do thousands of different strategies. And if your problem is that you go into one strategy and then you jump to another and you jump to another and then you jump to another, you never allow that strategy kind of to take hold in your brain, and you can see it time and time and time again, right? Taking subpar setups, stuff like that, where you're like, oh, maybe it's going to do this, instead of actually having a good thesis, letting the market say, okay, your thesis is correct or not, and then reacting to it in those broad terms, right? So, Daddy, it's a very hard to say it's just one thing that has allowed me to make the breakthrough, to take payouts and do all that stuff. But it comes down to pretty much that the biggest thing for me is that extreme discipline of just executing, whether it be, my platform's broken or NVIDIA just decided to crash for no reason. I can't believe it. It messed up this trade. Like, once you enter the trade, you have to accept the risk. You have to understand, I'm risking $200 on this trade. It's probably going to fail. But if you have a strategy that you kind of took pieces from everybody and now it works for you, right? Now you can trust that my strategy really works about 75% of the time. So I don't have to be taking huge, big winners if I'm going to win 75% of the time, right? The way I'm going to make more money is by stacking how much account size I have, then adding position sizes. And that just comes with time and experience. So I don't know if that makes a lot of sense to you, Daddy. If you want me to expand on that, just let me know. I'm really kind of just trying to give you a broad overview. There's never really just that one thing that helps you break through. It's the constant grind of going through the whole thing. Oh, trying to spill my espresso here. Can't do that. Yeah, just if that helped kind of break it down for you a little bit, and you got to you have to go through the adventure yourself. That's really what it is. I'm just here to provide some guidance to allow people to understand levels and kind of give you the the broad dynamics of the market. But the real thing is doing what Scott just did, where you go up $700 on the day, you go up $200 on a day, you go from red to green and you lock yourself out. You eliminate the FOMO, you get out, you walk away from your computer. Maybe you can still stay on the charts, but having the discipline to not click any more buttons is really what it comes down to. Because whenever, like just how Zuka-san just said, I wanted to make $50 more and then I burned my account, right? You don't want to be in the game of I need to make this or I have to do that, right? If the only thing you're going to do is get your setup, wait for your setup, execute your setup, and then do it again, and then do it again, and do it again. I'm reading, and I'm not completely done with it, but by Mike Bellafiore, SMB Capital, One Good Trade. It's pretty much what they preach to their traders. They're looking for one really good A-plus trade. Then they're going to go and look for another really good A-plus trade, irregardless of what happened in that previous trade or the 10 previous trades, right? If you have an edge and you have an idea on what's going to happen and you have good money management, right, where you're not full porting these combines every single trade, you're going to make good decisions. You're going to make, you're going to make some money. You're going to lose some money. But at the end of the day, if you stick to your discipline 100%, it's all about that discipline, then you're going to be in way better shape. And that's going to kind of set you apart from other people who are just trying to full port gamble, or, just start hammering into things just because they see it, right? I know what my setups are. I know where I'm going to play things. I know where levels are going to be. If I'm not there or if I don't get the confidence that I need, I miss a move, but it's fine. I'd rather miss a move than lose money, right? Like I said, August has been a really hard mental test. It's a terrible trading month historically for me and many people. It's slow summer months leading into the September rate cut. I do a market analysis that I write up every single week, and I post it on my website at daytradingcoffeeco.com. And if you want to kind of see what has also helped me longer term is doing this once a week, right? I do it. I release it every Sunday night after I get home from work. I write that up. It gives me a look back for the week prior. It gives me a look ahead for the week ahead, but it doesn't give me like a huge, I don't have like, I'm going long this week, I'm going short this week. It lays out everything from what happened last week, what drove price to what price points, what levels were key, what levels will be key this week. Then I look ahead to what data is going to be released, what days those data are going to be released. So understanding which day is a good day to trade based on the market environment and long-term key structure levels is going to make you make better decisions as a whole, right? This 841 level, I took that short right there because of that being a key level where a lot of eyes were going to be interested in. Did I think it was going to roll all the way to overnight lows? No, I didn't. I was going to take that short right to the VWAP. My main strategy is mean reversion back to VWAP on failed breakouts, because breakouts tend to fail. And I approved that point to myself this week and last week, where I tried to switch up things that were working and maybe play some breakouts here and there. And obviously those are not what I do, right? It's not what I do well. And what you should do is learn what you do well, stick to it, and then just accelerate that growth by just continuously adding to it, the discipline of it, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense, Daddy. All right. If you're over on the YouTubes, I don't know if Daddy heard my complete explanation or not, but it was a good question. Hopefully, got some insight out of that. Hopefully, my mic is working correctly, so you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me or not in the chat. Okay, cool. Thank you, Jofi. Some people ask questions and then they don't respond to the answer, which is fine with me. I'm still cool with rambling, man. This 41 level is worth playing with, except for the fact that I do think that my weekly outlook is that after Powell was done speaking, after we got all the data, that potentially 20,000 and beyond is kind of where we finish based on 610 holding. And obviously that 760 level that I was talking about as well. The 760 level is where I anticipated 760 to 841 and then beyond to 20,000, 20,100, maybe to 200 at most for the end of the week. So realistically, just based on kind of what he said, it seemed like he was talking about that rate cut coming in, the financial juice, where Fed Powell said, the time has come for policy to adjust. That's really all it comes down to. I mean, if that's him saying we're going to cut rates, all but saying that we're going to cut rates. My thought on the rate cut environment is people will price it in all the way up to all-time highs from the levels where we're at, and then it's going to cut, and then we're going to get a sell-off. And that's just kind of how it works time and time again. You got to understand these market cycles. And realistically, cuts aren't necessarily very good for the economy. It's good for spending, right? But it does mean that there's maybe a fear of trouble brewing of overcorrection the other direction, right? So they want to kind of balance this a bit. And, I'm not going to be a doomsayer, but, we have that rate cut. September, probably more cuts for the rest of the year. They were initially anticipating multiple cuts. Powell said that one cut really won't do anything in the past. So if you get a cut September, you probably get cuts moving forward into the end of the year. Also, you have the election in November, which is going to shake these things up quite a bit. I would definitely see, like I said, I want to see how price pushes up into that rate cut. If it's getting bid up into the rate cut, expect capitulation higher, expect extreme greed to step in, and then when markets are extremely greedy, that's when big players start to sell, and that'll lead us into election season where maybe we start to get the bid back up. 934, we're here, and we're just kind of letting things play out. We did a really good job here of 2 times calling that short through 41. I ended up shorting through overnight highs here with the hotkey test and over risked a little bit on it. I wanted to only risk $200. Forgot that I had it set to 5. Now, once I saw it there, I just let it play out. This is a combine. This is not my XFAs because we lost those early in the month, and we're just trying to regain our momentum back the other direction. You could potentially see this just continue to rotate around and around and around. NVIDIA is failing that 129.12. Microsoft breaking through lows again. So what do you know? We're going to try a sell here one time, and then we'll get to even quick on it. Oh, that's not it. All right, we're even. See if it'll sell harder or if it's going to fail this breakdown. Oh, whippy right there. Very whippy. Could be a trap for the longs. There we go. I was at just past even on it, so I took that quick. Got to be good with your hotkeys, knowing where they are, knowing what buttons you're pushing. I'm going to probably set up more. I have like a gaming keyboard or a keyboard with it's a Corsair keyboard. It's got G keys on the side, which is basically a hotkey setup. And I had them set up for when I was trading with Lightspeed, and it was perfect. It was working really, really well. I was able to kind of get in and out, but I don't have that function in me right now currently. That was a nice push down to Microsoft to sweep lows of 417.30. It now looks like it's rotating back. I do think bullishness is still here. I'm not quite trusting a breakdown yet, so watch for these levels to kind of hold once again, maybe be rotational. I'm just kind of talking through ideas here. That was a heavier delta off 900, so the sell from 900 was a nice key level for you to be watching. Up 425, we lost 5 on that one, so really could be up $1,000 if we just didn't execute that short there, which is, like I said, just being completely accountable for what you do on every single part of the journey. That's going to be the biggest lesson that I have learned over the course of the years, is the full-on accountability and understanding that whatever you do is because of you, and the more you do it, the better you're going to be, and the more you can stay accountable, the better you're going to be as well. I like that 41 level as a bounce. I would like to see Microsoft up over 417 though. This is heavy. Heaviness, right? That was really the sellers accelerated this down through that value area high from 44 before. This time, not so much, right? You're not getting that heavy selling pressure, and every tick down, you're getting a little bit of an aggressive buyer there. So, not that I'm going to say it's going to get propped up, but it seems like it's more likely this time to not flush just because it hasn't quite gone yet, right? I am in combine mode, so if I was in an XFA, I'd be locked out already. So if you are looking to preserve capital, if you are in something that you're trying to not lose a bunch on, I would lock out already. If you're going to be playing this range with us, I may look for longs off that 41, above 41, shorts from that 41 as well. It's just kind of a decision point here, right? It's 44 is the value area high. NVIDIA trying to get back down below 128.50 and then rejecting that again. Microsoft 416.57. We're up 425. So that short idea played out again there from top to bottom, 900 down to the bottom end of the range at 800. So that's a 100-point range we're playing with currently from 900 to 800. If it flushes overnight highs, I want VWAP to be up above the overnight high before that overnight high flush actually accepts. If you do start to accept below overnight highs and start to creep into opening range, the shorts down below that opening range could make some sense as well. Just based on technicals. And 760, right? I thought that that's going to be the support area for the day. So getting down to 760 is going to be the next area where it could be interesting for this to bounce. But I do think that, right, this 100-point range here is, let's say you hammered the top and the bottom each time, you're up, you're down, you're up, you're down, you're up, you're down. The first time it fails, you're still up, of course, across the amount of times that you've taken that trade. If you're thinking that it's going to stay range bound and wedged in there for the rest of the day, that's up to you to kind of make that decision on your own. All right, Jofi. Next week, we'll get back to the drawing board, right? I am supposed to be teaching Monday and Tuesday. I haven't heard word on exactly what times I'm going to be teaching in the boot camp. So I potentially might not be on the stream early Monday, Tuesday. If I do hop on, I'll let you guys know, what's going on with the boot camp and all that stuff. But I am supposed to be teaching Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I have been subpoenaed to court for a case. But I don't know what time that's going to end up being at. So potentially Wednesday as well. I might have to leave early or do something in that regard. So next week might be a short streaming week, just depending on the teaching schedule and all that fun stuff. Otherwise, if I am going to be on or not, whatever, anything I'm going to do, I'm going to post in that weekly write-up on Sunday night. So you will be aware of what I got going on for the week come Sunday, and then give you guidance for that. I think you guys are going to be all right. I think August sucks. So don't beat yourself up for having a bad August. I think a lot of people had a bad August. It's tough trading conditions. We have been seeing the market really, really, really well. Like I said, levels, call outs, everything has been really good over the past, month. But my executions, and I'm sure some of your executions, like Jofi said, has been just a little bit off. And we don't want to exacerbate that by doing anything stupid into the rest of the month. Let's just work on getting back our funding, work on building that buffer, and then start taking payouts again for the rest of the year, and then forget about August. Or remember August next year, and we won't be trading as heavily come August because it's just a crappy trading month for sure. Yeah, decision-making absolutely has been poor, right? Analysis for me, honestly, like I said, I've been seeing the market super well. My levels have been spot on. I've called out some really good opportunities here and there, and then I just haven't executed on them personally, which is, unfortunate. And then, like you said, decision-making is poor. Adjustments need to be made day in and day out. And like August is just a very tough time to make those decisions. So I was considering taking a buy from 800 just based on this being a range trade. NVIDIA looking like it wants to hold 128.58. Microsoft holding 416. But it's not giving you that hard push to the high side there. Delta is flat. 800 has 50 contracts sitting there on the bid. So 800 either is going to pull us down or push. Yeah, impatience until, for me personally, honestly, I'm going to tell you that it's by losing those XFAs from the just the bad streak that I went on. I went on like combine tilt, right? Same as you, right? Where it's just like, man, I think because you see the market so well, you see the analysis so well, then you see things play out. You're like, oh man, I should be in this, should be capitalizing on it, and I'm not doing that. So I want to be able to do those things, capitalize on those opportunities, but I got to do it when they're there. I can't, revenge trade FOMO into those things, right? So it's just kind of one of those things that we got to just learn to work on, improve our patience day in and day out. Don't do dumb shit. Get yourself, don't do dumb shit, mug, and you'll be reminding yourself day in and day out of what you need to do in order to make yourself a little bit better. So NVIDIA did hold 128.58, but Microsoft is selling through 416.50. So you are diverged there on the two top names. You need to see which one's going to actually choose the direction and if the other one's going to follow it, right? Are we going to breach 841 and then fail it and rotate down Or are we going to start to get up over 841, retest, and rotate back to highs? And then, like I said, up to 20,000 does make a lot of sense for just macro events, right? It's all good, Jofi. I feel the pain, dude. I feel you. Been there recently as well, so it's gonna be good. You're gonna get back to it. You're a good trader. You have plenty of opportunities ahead of you. All right, you've taken payouts. You've gotten funded multiple times. You could do it again. You're gonna do it again over and over and over again. Just leverage this while it's still here, and just prepare yourself for some of these times where this shit happens, right? Tons of people losing their accounts, tons of people doing this. It's not just you. It's just a matter of long-term abilities trying to hold on to this, right? So just don't beat yourself up too much. I know I do it, so I'm not going to tell you not to. Just figure out something that's going to get you over it this weekend and back to the drawing board Monday, where money to be made every single day in this market, right? You can do it. I know you can do it. Alcohol is the answer. Is the answer for sure. I honestly, I've been doing the opposite, right? I've been so annoyed recently with August and the trading of these things. Always take profit. This is true. Take profits. This is the way to go. There's the seller. The seller accelerated in through. I'm going to take that sell through the overnight high here. And it's up to 760. I'm going to get to even. If it goes to even, I'm out. But there we go. I'm out there. I got in a little late because I was talking. But overnight high failure right below VWAP, right down to 760. That's really where I want to be, at least secured down to 760, right? I don't want to be in the middle there. So I'm fine with that even. I think this still gets heavier now based on the failure of the overnight highs. Watch the breakdown of the opening range low as well, 740s. Because if 760 gives up, then 740s probably doesn't have an issue. Microsoft just broke really heavily through. Hopefully these hotkeys are good. Broke heavily through 416.50. Really helped drive us downside, as well as NVIDIA. Remember I was saying they were diverged a bit. So the pop up and then the failure of 128.50 led to this complete sell side pressure, right? And now we're down through that 40 level. So that short was a really good idea. I just didn't trust it at 760 to leave it there. I didn't get a great entry at the overnight highs. I'm cool with what I have right now based on my month of August. If you are up and you're not catching these moves, like I'm not going to FOMO into this. I missed it. I got it, right? But I didn't hold it long enough because of the lack of trust at that area. It's not quite. I got away from my entry point. Being away from your entry by almost 10 points is not really great when you're only risking 10 points. So I would rather it be entered here risking 10 points above the overnight high than at 766 or 768 risking to the overnight high, right? I'd rather be in a lot closer, a lot tighter. This does have heaviness now. I'll watch the overnight lows for the failed break of the overnight lows to rotate us back up. 610 should act as really key structure support. If it doesn't, if we don't get support at 610, I don't know how low this does go, but that was a really nice technical break. Once you saw that the lower high here, came retesting that 41. I talked about 41 being that decision point where we were making moves, the confluence between NVIDIA and Microsoft. I saw them breaking out of the corner of my eye. I was talking here. I took that short, didn't end up actually capitalizing on it, but you can see this is 3 minutes. 3 minutes, we got 100 plus points, right? So it's possible, as long as you can time your trades correctly, you can do this time and time again, and just practicing the discipline for myself of just not clicking buttons just to click buttons. So going back to my alcohol answer, right? I was talking about that where I walk past that bottle of Buffalo Trace on bad days and I actively deny it. I'm like, man, that would be a really good just way to chill. But for me, the discipline of being like, you know what, I'm not going to do that on bad days. I'm only going to do it on good days. I'm going to reward myself with a nice drink, right? That's more helpful for me, right? Trying to practice that discipline in more aspects than just like, I'm going to hit the bottle because I'm mad, right? I was like, I thought about it. I need to take but I walked past it. And I said, nope, I didn't earn that today. I'm not going to take it. And then on days that I earn it, some days I'm just like, I don't want it, whatever. Or a good bottle of wine or something. I want to reward my good behaviors and not my bad. And I think as many people use alcohol as a vice, I like to use it as a reward, right? I like to enjoy myself on time to time, not too much. But I'm not going to hit the bottle and create bad habits of a spiral down, because that's just going to lead me to drink it. Then I'm going to go find something to trade while I'm drinking because I'm angry. It's going to diminish my inhibitions, and then I'm going to start burning accounts. So I reward my good behaviors with some drinks here and there, or food or whatever. I love it. Stay away. If you don't have to, it's not for everybody. You don't need it. I like a good bottle of wine and some good whiskeys here and there, but I don't like to overindulge anymore. It's all good. It's all good. I would not. You don't have to drink. It's not necessary. It's not great for you. So I like the red wine because it does have some benefit too. Yeah, that's true. You can. Let's watch this overnight low. I want to see that get breached down to previous day lows. You can see that red line there, previous day lows down here. That short was a perfect idea, honestly. I wanted to catch it, but like I said, sometimes when I'm talking, I get a little loose on my entries. And then once I see an entry that's not optimal, I'm going to go to even or breakout, get myself out. And then before, there was something I kind of wanted to note for you guys was my hotkeys obviously got corrupted to the point where my hotkeys on OBS were the same as the hotkeys on the trading platform. I hit over to our main screen, noticed that I was in, and I immediately, no matter what the price did, I X'd out of that trade, right? If you don't mean to trade, do not stay in the trade. If you accidentally fat finger something, whatever, that happens to everybody. Fat finger mistakes happen to everybody. Do yourself a favor, get into the habit of just get out. Don't say, oh, maybe it'll work because I'm in. I think X, get out of it. Yep. That's true. Yeah, it's very much a social thing, drinking, going out, having fun with friends, whatever. When you're drinking by yourself, that's when you really start to not really have too much, but more and more and more. And, I do by myself, but that's occasional. And it's usually wine or just with food or something like that. I think it was a good comment, Scott, because realistically, that's what people do, right? And I kind of wanted to give my perspective on how to completely start making these decisions more than just trading, right? Like, this is a great stream for trading. It's a great stream for, I think personally for, developing a good community and having people that we can kind of run ideas off of and stuff. Like I said, I'm not a signal service. I've been losing this month, and obviously a lot of you have been also, but I don't think we've been taking the same trades. It's just been the same sort of like August manipulation in your mind. But to understand how you're going to trade better, you have to understand how you live in a broad sense of everything, right? So you should note, like, that comment is 100% factual, right? Most people are going to be like, fuck, I suck today. I need a drink. And personally, I said the same thing to myself, right? This whole last week, when I burned my XFAs, like I said, I walked past that bottle and I was like, no, not today. Not today. So I'm going to actively make the decisions that make me be more disciplined on my trading. I want to do everything that's going to make this better. I want to do this for the rest of my life, and I want to do it at a super high level. And in order to do that, I need to start to be making these decisions across everything that I do. So that extreme accountability that I was talking about early when Daddy asked that question, the extreme accountability doesn't just apply to trading, right? I do it in everything. I do it at work. I do it here. I do it with, the kids. And, I tried my best to live by that, right? Like, if something happens, it's my fault, right? Not that I'm like a negative Nancy about it or whatever. If something good happens, I would like to take some credit for if something good happened because I made that happen. I'm not going to get overly excited or whatever, but I just want to be accountable for every little piece of whatever action that I do, because at the end of the day, nobody gives a shit. Nobody else cares about what you're doing. I mean, they may pretend or whatever. Nobody else is going to help you as much as they say that they are. They're going to help you to a point, but at the end of the day, it's you versus you, and it's you taking all that accountability and making decisions for yourself, be it good or bad, making decisions for your family, be it good or bad, and sticking to your decision and then adjusting as things need to happen, right? So I've been in the business of making hard choices for a long time, and I think now getting into this part of it, of life or whatever, of trading and everything like that, it's time to start putting all those things together and allowing that to make things grow to an exponential level, right? So the only way that's going to happen is when you start taking all of that responsibility on yourself, and maybe not putting the pressure on, but just living every aspect of your life in that disciplined manner. Should I go to the gym more? Absolutely. And I'm not like, preaching that I'm perfect in all the decisions I make, but at least taking accountability for what I'm doing and the decisions that I'm making is what I'm kind of trying to get at, right? Like, you don't have to be Joe Rogan. You don't have to sauna, ice bath, run, work out, fucking trade, all that shit. I want to be that, level of just dedication to working out and training, all that stuff. But you have to prioritize things in life and do what you want to do. And just the more you do better at everything, the better you'll be at everything. And that's the only way it's going to work. Some people get lucky, no doubt about it. Some people get lucky. Some people are lazy. Some people fucking hit off on a big trade and then they're fucking loaded. And then they can make stupid decisions forever, right? All right, Jofi, I'll see you later. Always a pleasure talking. You get me on rants. You get me going. It gets the people going. I got to go to Dubai. That's what it is. All right, back up over that 700 level where we had all those lots sitting before. Rants about life. I'm going to write a book. I planned on it my entire life. For some reason, something has always told me I want to write a book, and I haven't done it yet. I don't want to live in Dubai. I would like to just go and visit and hang out with Jofi for a day or two or whatever, explore the Lambo cop cars while I'm driving around in a Ford Explorer, This is a trap for shorts, 100%. Microsoft back up over 415 and then rejected, but we'll see if it'll get back over there again. 414.90, I should say. Yeah, that's what, like I said, if I ever, when I get to the point financially where I'm really at that level where I could decide whatever I want to live wherever in the world, I think I'd still raise them in a place where they need to live real life, go to school, do all these things, and then have the opportunity, do travels, do world stuff, go see the world, do those things, but have the opportunity, grow up with some structure at a level where it's more realistic about how life really is, just in case things need to get back to that point where you're just living regular, Monday through Friday lifestyle stuff. Go see the world, Scott, while you can, man. Go do it. Just take some time. Go travel. Do it yourself if you have to. Before we had kids, even after we had our first, we haven't traveled as much recently because we've been moving back and forth from New York to Texas, back and forth. We traveled. We've been to Madrid, Paris, Athens, all these places. It's worth seeing, man. It is worth. You need to get perspective of how life is everywhere. And then you realize how similar it is everywhere until there's just little nuances to everything. You watch a lot of videos. It's not the same. It is like the ultimate trip for me is going to be going to Italy and spending a lot of time there. We want to go. We've been wanting to go. We had a trip scheduled prior to COVID, and then obviously COVID knocked that out because that was right when Italy shut down. They were the first ones. But the problem, I think, is if I end up in Italy at some point soon, I may never return back here. The motherland is calling me back. I could feel her. There's something about that simplification of living. How you doing? 10:01 a.m. We got about an hour left in stream. I'm going to try and stay on, see if I can catch anything. If we break above overnight highs again, I do believe that 20,000 comes back into play. I thought we would sweep the overnight lows. We never made it there. If we reaccept back up over opening range, back above VWAP, back above overnight highs, that 41 level probably gets tagged one more time. Then if we can breach 41, 20,000 for my weekly projection to play out, 20,000, 120 up to 200 would be the high of the week. Continuing. All right, sure, Jovi. We'll see you whenever we decide to see it. I'm going to not say anything anymore. Leave the chat. Go enjoy your weekend. Have fun in Dubai while you can. Don't worry about the trading. The trading is going to work out. You're good at it. You're fine. I'm not concerned about you and anything that you have to say when you're negative, because I'm the same way. Just keep crushing it. You're young. You're ready to go. So go enjoy Dubai. Have fun this weekend. Come back Monday ready to crush it. That's all you got to do. The beautiful thing about futures and the beautiful thing about these funding companies is it allows you pretty much can just keep pushing forward. And there's that, the opportunity is always going to be there for you if you just don't give up. And I think for a lot of us, we're in that loop of, man, we know what we're doing, but we're not quite making the right choice, or we're not this. Every step of the way is a little bit of a learning piece. Not doing dumb shit. Getting yourself into a really good habit will allow you to, get in. But like, it's not like you need to, blow 25 grand, 30 grand, 50 grand to learn your lessons, right? $50 at a time when you have these combines. If you start treating them like they're $50, $100, $200,000, actual your money, then you start to really understand, oh, wow, okay, I can do this, but I need to do that to make it better. I don't want to lose this because of that, make better decisions. And then, you get your money back. You start taking payouts, you start feeling good, start leveraging in. All those good things lead to success long term. But I think people use these, especially me right now, especially like I'm at the level where I've passed countless combines across countless prop firms, have taken payouts. So I'm at the level where now I'm just leveraging into these accounts, trying my best to just maximize funding for when I am on a hot streak so I can take my money out when I'm ready to go, right? So yes, in these down months, it's harder to get my combines passed. It's harder to get my money because I'm making choices based on just passing combines. and just spending less than I pull out is really the goal at this point, right? So let's see if S&Ps can get over VWAP. That's going to be an interesting point of contention. 700, right? This blue line here. That level there, going to be interesting. What did I say, 698? There we go. Probably better. Fred Harker said the Fed should start the process of cuts and keep moving. We need to start moving rates down, according to Harker. It's time to move rates. It's time to cut rates. They have all but said that they are going to cut rates. It is coming. Does this market now decide to start its buy the rumor, sell the news action? Because the news isn't here yet. The number isn't released. It's all just rhetoric. It's all jawboning. It's all talk until it actually comes out, right? So all these people who think that's going to be good for the market is going to bid this up for that day to sell it off. I mean, that's just kind of my macroeconomic view of this market, right? There's no... I think this does give us maybe another try at that overnight low. Potentially could bounce 610. If not, clearing the overnight high does give us the opportunity to play that move higher. If the S&Ps break above here, you can see that kind of tightening wedge. There's somebody here that's just waiting, selling. If the seller gives up here at 56.37, then the S&P, then the NQ maybe likes to push up over that 760. 760 to me is that level that I'm interested in. Unfortunately, I don't like the way the hotkeys don't allow me to get past even. The speed works to even, which is great. I can mitigate losing. However, I can't maximize gains unless I click, which is unfortunate, right? There's the break of 56.37, the break of this 40. If we can get up over opening range, up over 60, pushes up overnight highs. Maybe we get a break retest and then a continuation. I don't like this wedge. I think that this could lead to a snappy move downside to push us back up. NVIDIA is rolling a little bit. Microsoft also running its head into 415 rejection area. Delta isn't as flat as I would think. So still aggressive buyers stepping in here. You can see aggressive buyers coming in stronger than the pullbacks. So another buyer through the opening range low potentially starts to squeeze this up. There's a bid right here that just got placed at 722. I don't know if it got filled or not. I didn't see it. 722, 40, 50 lots there. This is a decision point right here. Something about this area is being very, it's a buildup, right? You could see the buildup of orders, build up. There's a chance that it snaps and then runs, or it breaks out upside because this winding up is happening here. This is a good area for a decision. If you are somebody who's looking to trade some sort of snap breakout of a setup, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for price to wind into a super tight area to make a decision. A really big seller or ask just got filled, 72, 100 something contracts got filled at 76, and no movement to the upside. So watch for the downside now with that kind of big size getting filled and no movement to the high side. Usually, if we get that kind of fill, you're going to get a push through. Currently, now we're still just, I mean, we're stuck right in this super tight range right there. Price needs to make a choice. Whichever way it goes from here, I don't know if that first move is going to be the true move. It might be manipulative, right? This one might have been manipulation to the high side. If it breaches that high and continues through 60, then it can confirm and push higher. We're in this range of between 610 and 760. We're at the higher end of it where it could easily roll to 610, but it also could easily break through 760 and go to 20,000, right? This is where markets are trying to decide where it wants to go. And S&Ps, you can clearly see right there, 5637 is that VWAP. It's everything. It's a major structure level. It's running its head up into there, running into it, and now it's looking to break above it. If it can hold, then you start to see people, all right, we're accepting above it. We're accepting, we're going to hold, we're going to push, and then you're going to start to get the break and pop. But I don't know if I trust that move to be the true move. It could be. Like I said, I'm not a great breakout trader. I'm not that type of player there. But if you can break through this, you usually get snappy behavior below these kind of moves, and you can snap down through 700. Boom, just like that, snap. And then you're going to rotate. If 700 fills, then you're going to get the pull all the way down, potentially. If this is going to be the fake out to the downside to trap some shorts to push us long, then that's what we're going to do. But like I said, on the time and sales, we saw a huge seller. Anything up over 100 contracts is a big seller. The ask got filled at that 29, 30 level, and price did not jump up through it. A lot of times if you see price push into a level and you get that fill and it pushes up through, then it was like a trap to go long. If it's going to not breach the level where you just had that seller, they're trying to sell it off, right? They're trying to get it to go. And you can see right there, that move happened at major structure points, and you were able to kind of see that coming. Another thing that I call out, I don't take these executions because they're a little bit away from my A+ strategy. And up $400 in a shitty month where I'm trying to build back good habits into next week and rotate into September back to doing what I do best, is playing these overnight lows, highs, and the breakouts, right? The failed breakouts. I just, don't trust some of these moves that are happening intra, zones. Hopefully you guys saw what I was seeing there. If you like that kind of call out or the analysis of the decision point type idea, let me know, because I'll continue to do it. Otherwise, I may just keep my mouth shut. Probably not. I can't do that. I'll just keep talking as if people are going to execute this. This thought right here was very good. And then now, if this fails to hold 700, the rotation back above this high could give you the true breakout, right? Because now you've relieved that selling pressure. You trapped a lot of shorts. There should be a lot of stops just above the high. So stops should be in here sitting at 19,740, 743. And then that's when you start to get that explosive move to the upside, because the stops are getting filled. And because there's buy stops here, you're buying into it. You're being able to kind of push that pressure up. More buyers are stepping in, and you're able to pressure that. But if this is going to continue down and hold 700, I'm going to be watching overnight lows. Oh, wrong thing. Trying to look at some different stuff. Alrighty. Like I said, I'm supposed to be teaching on Monday and Tuesday. Let's watch this break above 40. This is where I would expect this to happen. Right here. Long through that price right there. People would be risking down below here. I would not be risking that low, but this anticipatory push to 41, and then potentially because of that squeeze, you get up to 20,000. There's the true break of that high. There you go. That was very trappy, but I was able to kind of call out that price action pretty obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and buy it and give it a chance. We're at VWAP. I don't like that at VWAP. So I'm going to get to even and out probably. If it squeezes me, it squeezes me. So like I said, again, very I want my ideas to be entries correct. I don't like to be entering at VWAP. But you can see beautiful move there, squeeze. Tell me somebody saw that analysis. Tell me you seen it. Scott, you watching? Oh, you're playing video games, right? $760s is the key level, which is now VWAP, right? S&P's much cleaner move there to be able to take to the high side. I would anticipate this now goes, if it breaks 60 and squeezes through 60, squeezes through overnight highs, then you get up into 20,000. So I will watch this. I'm going to wait for a retest of the overnight highs to think about taking a long. The S&P was clean, very, very clean move. Clearly, I said that relieved the trap, right? Relieved the pressure, trapped shorts, stopped out the shorts, and now is running those stops and pushing us up higher, right? This is what that type of action does for you. I'm going to leave this up here to show you the analysis and the idea behind it and see if that longer term horizon kind of plays out for us. I think this doesn't really look back, to be honest. Overnight highs here. I lost on that trade. $10. I went to even on it and lost $10. $15. Sorry, we're up 400 on the day today. We realistically should not be. We should be up a little bit more. I decided to chase this short here with a little bit bigger size than I would have liked to because I was testing out these hotkeys on this account. I like the idea of these hotkeys. I'm going to keep using them, and I'm going to try and get a little bit better with them time and time again. I think break of this overnight high should give us a little bit of a push. However, we may need to pull back into the 60s before you get that big pop. NVIDIA's dancing around with that 128.50. Microsoft, middle of the range between 414 and 416. I think we approach 416.50 and we can get up and start to catch a bid, but a pull back down through 414.92, 415 even does continue to sell us off. But I liked the way that this looked for a long based on the trap, right? You saw price really winding up. The setup was great for the short to take it and trail quick, but understanding that this is likely the price action that you were going to get. You know, I kind of talked through how that was going to work out before this happened. I drew this up, so if you want to believe what I am showing you here, you can go back and rewind and see what kind of thought we had put into that, right? And realistically, you're up from 40 to 70. As a scalper myself, this is an area where you'd start to be interested in this thing to be moving out. NVIDIA is starting to bounce again, so you may get that next leg up to 800 here. The leg up to 800, then you want to see if it's going to fail 8 or if it's going to squeeze through it. Do we have any size on the book at 800? Yes, we have 50 contracts sitting at 800, so 50 contracts right here, right now, could draw us up there to get pulled and pull it even further up to 41. So this is the thought behind this trade idea. I liked it. I took it here at 60, and I was like, I don't want to. Didn't like the entry idea, but that was perfect. This idea here is now you could probably safely go to even if you're up at this point to 800. This really does look like a nice, clean push up. Excuse me. You know, calling this idea out. If you get to even here, it's fine because realistically, you wouldn't want it to break back down below 60 anymore if you think that it's going to be bullish to the high side, right? You if it gets down all the way through 60, then 700 may come in and you're going to get stopped out for a full loss anyway. So coming in, if you're long through this high break at 42, this did make, like I said, this made a whole lot of sense to be long here based on the price action of, rip the liquidity, find the stops getting placed above, squeeze those stops up, and then now push to the high side. And my time horizon is not very, very long. I think till, this will happen somewhat quickly. But let's see how it'll play, if it's going to hold the overnight highs or if it's going to fail. And Microsoft's still buying straight to the upside, pushing closer to that 416.50 number where it failed and broke down from before. NVIDIA, however, is selling from that 128.50. Well, hopefully you guys saw that entry, saw the manipulation here. This could have, you could have even, if you felt frisky, you could have front ran it through 700. So from 700 to 780, you're up 80 plus points. You got to 800. That's 100-point move right there. That is a pretty good move. Theoretically speaking, like I said, on my longer term horizon idea of this market does want to kind of go up at the moment, even though it feels heavy. When it feels heavy like this, there's a chance that it squeezes. And now we get that fail of the overnight high because of NVIDIA selling right into VWAP. Flattened out Delta. Price pulled back. Aggressive buyers probably step in. NVIDIA is still dancing around with that 128. We got about 8 minutes left in this Euro close, the week for the Euro too. So maybe you anticipate a squeeze in the last few minutes potentially for the Euros, getting out of their sells for the day. Holding over 80.78, the overnight high, still holding it. Does this break or hold? Microsoft looking a little like it wants to top here at 416.10. Didn't quite make it to the breakdown point. I guess it did, but not perfectly. 416.31 was that level. 84.50. The bid held at 84.50. Lots of orders getting hit on the bid there. Looks like it's going to start to push up now. Overnight highs holding. NVIDIA still kind of creeping up to that upper band of VWAP. Microsoft giving a bit of a sell, trying to push back below 416. Can this wedge now, holding on top of 760? This would be a good area for it to wedge, tighten up, and then 1030 come and it do what it wants to do after the European session closes. Could be an interesting area for reaction to happen, a good timing for reaction to happen. That 30-minute candle close right on top of that zone, that 760 area for sure makes a lot of sense. As I mentioned, you probably should be close to even if you did enter at the bottom of this from 40. If you got in at 700, definitely be even and trailed into profit up, 40 plus points. That is a great entry if you front ran it to the top here. You could have risked, very minimal risk on this. As I was talking through all of that, I am, like I said, looking for a good entry. Again, like I said, I'm in the combine. I'm doing a little bit more than I would if I were to have been still, in the XFAs. I would have been locked out earlier today at up 400 and change. Right now we're up 400. I'm willing to give a little bit back, not much, on a plus type idea here. If overnight highs can get a break down and then rally back up through them, maybe you take that long up to 41 and beyond. I think this market does have more room upside to go for sure. Downside pressure is totally based on if NVIDIA and Microsoft want to sell, and it doesn't look like they want to. They're kind of just stalling out at the highs just below 800 here. You can see Delta is still creeping up while price is as well. So 800, there's a volume node there that wants to get tagged off on. Once again, looks like we're going to get off at 800. There's 800, the pull to it. Now see if it's going to sell or break through from 800 and beyond. If you are somebody like myself, I would, if you were able to hold this entry here, maybe VWAP is now your stop, right? That this is a really good lesson on patience, a lesson on where you'd want things to be. I would probably, like I said, I would probably have my stop right down here below 60. That's just me. That's not necessarily how you have to do it. Maybe you just leave it at even. You leave it at break even because you've already been up almost 60-something points. I probably would have been even at overnight highs. That's a nice little sell-off here leading into the Euro close, right? This is a time of day where you're going to get reactions like this. So I would have probably been, stopped there. I would have been stopped personally. My trading style does not let me give that much back, but I would have been up in 76s probably the first time, would have been stopped out up here. I did take the long from like 50s, so I went even on it really fast because I didn't trust my entry point, but really nice clean move. Let's see, leaving this alone and not touching the stop loss, how many times does that play out? Microsoft hit off 416.57 and led to that sell. So the reason you get that movement, that pop into 416 and that sell from a key structure level, right? Same thing on NVIDIA. You're looking at NVIDIA here, selling from a key structure level. So this is technical, right? Technical breaks. $60 holds. Two minutes to that European close. Watch to see if there's any manipulation, any movement, anything that happens on the dome or on time and sales that you notice coming into that number, that 1030 number. You're trying to push back to highs, and the you saw the aggressive seller from 800 push in. So it would need to break through 800 to get up to 830 to get up to highs. What time do we got? We got 40 something seconds left in this session for the for that European session. Do we fail the overnight highs? Is that what's going to happen here? Double top at 800. Re-acceptance back into the overnight range. You know, this potentially gave you enough information to have been risk free, right? And it's up to you on how you take profits and how you move this. The opportunity, like I said, is there for all of that, right? Do I think that it's going to happen perfectly? Not necessarily, right? Where's that? I don't know where that is. There we go. So if that's where you're at, that's where you're at. Nvidia's holding up. Microsoft trying to catch a bounce middle of the range. There we go. Nice little push up for Microsoft. I think if we get through the overnight highs again, you probably get a nice, good squeeze through there. Not a whole lot of movement from that close, but you do see decent size getting filled here, 72s. Microsoft just dancing at the middle. I'm gonna go ahead and hold off and let this thing do its thing and talk, talk through its little bit of a squeeze if it gets through the overnight high again. I hope everybody understood some of the things that we talked about today. Like I said, I'm going to keep you guys posted on the boot camp and stuff like that on Monday. I'm supposed to be teaching Monday and Tuesday. We'll see what comes of it. I haven't heard anything about the access to everything, but we will definitely let you know when the time comes. Um, Overall, just kind of be patient. Let this week fucking go, and you can definitely make good money day in and day out. I like the moves. If I can get Nvidia to pop, Microsoft to pop, this combine needs to take some chances, right? Nah, it's gonna go, and I'm not gonna take it. So Oh, yes. We do have NVIDIA earnings next week on the 28th, I believe. This is getting ready to squeeze or snap to the downside. NVIDIA is kind of lingering over 128. You don't really want to short a slow market, to be honest with you, especially on a accumulation bounce kind of idea where a lot of these players are playing this for the long side, longer term. This is very tight. Once again, you got the tight action here and the sell. Do you get the tight action here, another kind of wick down, and then a pop up over that overnight high? Is that what we're going to get? Are we going to wick 760, then push overnight highs, then push to highs? Or are we going to wick up higher, rotate all the way down, and fail 700 again? It's dancing. Dancing around. NVIDIA really looks like it wants to sell from this point. Not like I trust it very much. This is just, like I said, I drew up this idea for those of you who are a little bit of a long-term hold type trader. This is not me. I could not hold through this as much as, I mean, I could talk to you all I want about patience and whatnot, but that's difficult to try and trade for me personally. This manipulation, trap shorts, get the long accumulation, stop them out, run it to the high side, and then run into a brick wall here at the overnight high. You have run out of buying pressure, right? The delta has completely come to a halt. Not a lot of aggressive buyers coming in on the cumulative delta. If you start to fail this, rotate it back down, watch that delta, see if it's going to fail and pull us harder, or are we going to hold 760 and continue to rotate up? This is just the Russell is creeping upside. It's going to have been ever since that pullback to the opening range. The Russell has absolutely crushed. So a lot of the money is going into the small cap world, it seems, and not quite into these Mag 7 large cap names. NVIDIA's wedging to a point where it wicked up the high of 128.90-ish and then pulled back right into 128.50s and now is trying to find support there. They're trying to find a buyer there. Microsoft also trying to find a buyer to push it back to 416.57. Potentially this could be the good timing for it where it's holding that 760 to, you know, eventually break us out of this little wedge. But it's got to break out of the wedge. It can't just sit here, right? If you want to take a quick shot at it. Still doesn't seem like it's ready to go. I would watch to see if NVIDIA breaks, see if it front runs it a little bit. I watch Microsoft and NVIDIA on one screen. I watch Delta and I watch this screen here in front of you. So I have a few different things that I'm watching that you don't necessarily see, right? I'm watching this level here, this cumulative delta, starting to get an aggressive buyer to step in here at that level, try once again to push us to 8, but there's not a lot of size. I don't see anything like huge on the order book, so it's you know, lower volume kind of trading right now. Put this back here, put that back there, and I'll watch that level come into play. NVIDIA looking like a breaking, selling. NVIDIA is in pure barcode mode. Here's NVIDIA. Sideways, chop, 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 chop. If this seller gives up, it rotates down lower. If this buyer here gives up, then you rotate down. If this seller here gives up, watch for the push pop up to 129.12, and then that'll help drive our NQ idea to the high side, right? Or downside, either one, whichever way it breaks. The best thing about Top Step X is this lockout button. You could use that to your advantage, or you can just continue to trade all day and get yourself into some trouble. Not a lot of aggressive buyers, even though that price is creeping up. So price is now creeping up again, breaking through that high, breaking through that wedge. Are you going to get a snap move or are you going to get another failure? Nice clean break up, holding now over the overnight low, overnight high. That didn't snap like it should have, right? Microsoft selling, Nvidia bidding up. It's going to be a sideways price action. Maybe it'll allow you another leg to the high side. It's probably just going to be grind. I think the rest of the day does grind a bit. Lower volume. The Europeans are gone. We'll see what happens up into power hour, but could just get this kind of funky, untradeable, slower price action for me. Like I said, I took this short here. I took the short there, got stopped at even. Took the long here, got stopped at even. Just because I didn't get to be able to enter these at the right time. I don't want to time it incorrect. I want to be able to time it and have a good entry criteria. So all right, I think that's going to be it for me trading today. I'm going to leave this running and see if you could watch it. I'm going to grab myself a little bit to eat. I think realistically, we did a really good job today of managing risk, except for that one trade where I was, like I said, testing hotkeys for, left my normal risk at 500. I want to leave my risk at 200 per trade, and didn't want to really do that there. I just kind of let it go, just trying to test this account. But then we made up for it, taking the short here, pretty much maximizing as much as we could out of that. 87, 70s. So could have gotten down to the 80s, but we did a good job of pulling that as best we could. And then once again, I saw this short coming in based on the equities. This could lead to the same type of deal we got down here. So be cautious, potentially up into that 41 level. But still safe. This is still a good trade. I want to extend that out till after 11. So the thought process behind this entry right here, I talk about it a lot. I've shown it on my Instagram. So if you go over to Instagram and you can see this play out pretty frequently, right? You get the wedge here, you get the trap, then you come up and you break the stops, and then you rally the rest of the day, potentially into that. But already, you've secured more than 1-to-1 on your risk if you were doing this type of risk. But then, like I said, this could be here again, the same sort of trapping behavior, stopping people out below here, running the lows, and then you just get a bunch of sideways bullshit the rest of the day. Yeah, all I have to say about that. Gonna shut it down for the day here. Hopefully everybody goes and enjoys the weekend. Reset for next week. I'm gonna update the streaming schedule as I find out more information about the boot camp and how I can run the timing of it and all that. I just gotta make sure I'm able to get to the screens at the correct times. It's gonna be allowing everything to kind of run smoothly. And then also on Wednesday, like I said, I have been subpoenaed to court. Potentially, it might be a Zoom court hearing, so I might be able to be on the screen here and then switch over to the Zoom call if I need to be at this court session. So we'll see what happens. But overall, good job today, everybody. Even those who didn't really make anything or whatever, but just being able to kind of see what we're talking about, understand the dynamics of the whole market, and talk through all of our levels and all that fun stuff. Just market psychology, everything that we can do to help. We're trying my best to come in here day to day, even on days where, maybe I'm not seeing the market perfectly or executing perfectly. I'm still able to hopefully provide you some value, be it technically or, mentally or anything like that. So hopefully we're in a good shape here. Up to 800, down to 600, down to 760. And there's the failure of 760. Really nice hard break of 760. So that is how that works, right? You would have definitely been out. Even if you're still holding this, I would be cautious. Yes. All right. So until Monday, I like the way this price is moving. It's pretty much telling us that these sweeps are happening, right? Right here, you break this little bit of a wedge pattern, you snap and you rotate it down, manipulating stops. Same thing here. Whichever direction it broke first, broke, snap the stops, now run the stops to the downside, showing you that opportunity. So that's, hopefully you are out of that idea, right? From the long to the short. Once you saw that manipulation, I talked about that on the bottom end here for this same type of setup here, trying to find those stops right there at that 740 number. It's really been the decision point of where I'd say 760 is the number, because that's where I like the number to be. That's my structure point, right? 760 for the longer term charts. Intraday right now, it seems like that whole opening range zone is what is driving this. Microsoft right back down to 414.89. Nvidia pulling right back to VWAP, which is 127.75. Middle of the range for Nvidia, middle of the range for Microsoft is down at key levels, but sort of middle of the range for the day. But all right, like I said, I appreciate everybody. I'm going to reach out to Deck, make sure I get everything set up for Monday, and then I'll lay it out for you guys for the rest of the week. Until Monday, I will talk to you guys. I mean, I'll stay on here for 15 more minutes, but I'm not going to really be calling much out. I'm just going to work on stuff. I'm going to allow this chart to kind of show you what's happening here. Understanding these levels, right? The 800 here. And this level here, right? Run those stops, trap the longs, run the stops to the downside. Same thing here. Trap the shorts, run the stops from to high side, and do it again. This is what the market's doing over and over and over again in order to make money. You could see it happening on both sides. So if you see it happen again today, where you get a wedging pattern, same deal, and you got a major key structure level, this is 100 points right here. This blue line to that red line. That's 100 points. Russell still pushing upside. Is this the final trap? Could this be the final trap for that long? It's possible. This is how this account's going. Made 15, lost 1,000, made 4, still green. This is this account. Next week, they're getting rid of the daily loss limit. You have to set your own daily loss limit so you don't blow these accounts, people. Alrighty. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to get some food, take care of some coffee business. As always, if you're on here, I appreciate you sticking through all the way to the end of the week. We're going to get back to it next week, and I will keep everybody posted about the boot camp. If you still want to get involved, 6-month membership, you need it. Policing Pips get you 10% off all memberships, so don't be afraid to use that code across all of the memberships on tradecaster.com, right? So if you're not a member, get a membership. Policing Pips get you that 10% off, and it shows Deck and all the Tradecaster people that I am bringing the people to them and to allow him to make a little bit of more reason to keep me around for a bit longer, and maybe I'll get a couple dollars out of it. But until Monday, I will talk to you guys. Try to enjoy your weekend. August sucks. It's all good. September's going to be better, I promise to you. As long as you guys can get yourself funded, get yourself ready to go. I want to have us ready to go for September, better trading months. Next week is the last week of this crappy trading. I think we're going to get some more clean opportunities come September 1st or the first week of September. Look out for my write-up Sunday night. I will release it after I get home from work, probably just before midnight Central Time, so look out for that. And as always, if you go to daytradingcoffeeco.com, use code policingpips, you'll get yourself 15% off all your orders. All right. So until then, cheers. Don't do dumb shit. Enjoy your weekend. I appreciate all of you. Talk to you later.